Well, good morning and happy Tuesday. It is Gillian here from Super You, and I have what I think is kind of a brilliant life hack. I may be late to the party on this one, but my life hack for you today, my tip Tuesday, is I'm all about reading and learning, and I love, somebody once said to me, why don't you read more fiction books? I'm such a nerd that way. I love reading nonfiction. I love looking at ways I can enrich my life and make my life better. I love a good fiction read too. Not only, but I just don't tend to be drawn to them. So I love reading, but I have very little time to read, and I was starting to feel frustrated about the fact that I don't have time to read. I don't have time. I'm not making time to read. Let's rephrase that. So I don't know, again, maybe I'm late to the party on this. I know lots of friends that have been into it for a long time, but podcasts. And I used to think, my husband has been listening to podcasts for years when he drives to and from work. And I used to think, I don't have enough time in the car to make use of that. And what I realized was that even 5 minutes listening to something when those rare moments I have no kids in the car, those little 5 minutes start adding up. And what I realized is I got an account for Audible, which is another great little tool if you're listening to books. And I started for even just like 5-minute drives. If I had longer drives, of course I was listening, but I started listening every time I drove. And I now don't even want to actually listen to music in the car. On occasion I do, if I'm like heading to a class and I want to pump myself up, I'll listen to music, but generally I'm listening to podcasts in the car. And I was listening to an awesome podcast the other day. I've only listened to one in the series, so I'm not necessarily saying, hey, this is a great series, but it's the Good Life Project. And I was attracted to the episode because one of my favorites, Vanessa Van Edwards, who is from thescienceofpeople.com, she was being interviewed. And so I was curious to hear it. And just a little background on Vanessa Van Edwards is she's she studies people. So those people that can tell from people's micro expressions if they're lying or how they're actually feeling. She's like an expert in that area, and she does all of this research. Check out her website, thescienceofpeople.com. Fascinating stuff. At least it is to me. And one of the things she was talking about in this podcast, there's my home line ringing. I'm just going to go ahead and ignore that. What? Live flub. Anyways, so that's really distracting. Vanessa Van Edwards. And in this podcast, this is the other tip I have for you today. She was talking about affirmations. And I have previously been really into affirmations, but she put an interesting twist on it and had me look at affirmations in a different way. What she said is she's not a big fan of affirmations. And I was like, hold up, what? But she explained herself, of course. And she said, when you say, so for example, if your affirmation is, I can't think of one right now in the moment, I am a successful entrepreneur. That would be that would be a fantastic one for me. I am a successful entrepreneur. Or I am, whatever else you might. So affirmations tend to be kind of an I am, you're already living in that statement. But that's the problem with it. You're already living in that statement. So it tricks your brain to thinking that you've already succeeded in achieving it. And what she was saying is that actually it kind of minimizes your drive. It takes away some of that energy that you would otherwise invest in making that happen for yourself. So she was had me rethink, again, beauty of podcasts while I was driving to and from my yoga class last weekend in Vancouver. So I was doing quite a bit of driving. I listened to all these podcasts, and it just opened my mind to another way of thinking. So in the comments, I'm going to share with you kind of my top 5 podcasts that I've gotten onto. And in the comments, I'd love it if you'd share your favorite podcasts. So we can kind of get a running list. Everybody's going to have a different favorite, obviously. So hopefully we'll get a nice big list of podcasts that are inspiring to you guys. And I encourage you, for a little life hack, to start listening to them in the car Or the other thing I do is I listen to them when I fold laundry, because I hate folding laundry. But if I'm listening to a podcast, it's engaging. So multitask in those, or when you're cooking, or when you're doing kind of mundane chores around the house, perfect time to listen to podcasts. While you're cleaning, while you're doing those kinds of things. I've even listened to podcasts while I'm running, and I actually quite like, I find it actually quite motivating. So there is your Tip Tuesday life hack for today. I hope you found that helpful. Try on that idea of whether or not affirmations are really helpful for you. I do like mantras as opposed to affirmations. So to kind of help you flip a negative self-talk into a positive self-talk, but the whole idea of an affirmation, something to think about. All right. Have a fantastic day. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything else you'd love to see me covering on a Tip Tuesday, shoot me an email, Gillian with a G @superu.ca. Have a fantastic Tuesday.